Production can be everything into how the actual arrangement translates, and I think it's perfectly well done here. Bass is a touch louder. You can hear the root note decisions in action. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lone University. Like the Angel is from the band's second studio album, Revolutions Per Minute, released in 2003. And yes, this was indeed another Fat Records release, but apparently the band at the time wanted to record an album that distinguished themselves from other Fat Wreck bands of the time. And I already know it's going to sound pristine, with Bill Stevenson and Jason Livermore credited for producing the album. Again, every time I feel like I hear a really great mix on the channel, I look at the credits and voila, it's Bill Stevenson and Jason Livermore. I've been stoked to hear more of Joe Principe's bass work because based on what little I've heard, I can already tell he has such a signature bass style. It's so chordal, it's so melodic. Even when the song gets really, really heavy and bass should just be hugging a root note, he's somehow back there playing double stops or chords or just octaves in a really cool way. So despite just hearing one song by 88 Fingers Louie and I think just one Rise Against song so far, I know I'm barely scratching the surface, but our Patreon community voted this track into first place last month with 71 votes, and I want to thank our patrons Polion and Joe Modic over there for sending this one in. Without further ado, here is Like the Angel from Rise Against. Hey, what was I just saying? Chords, double stops? Making this face, crunchy, filthy bass tone, so beefy. It thickens it up. It puts it in like grand piano territory. It just makes it a bit more hi-fi when he does those chords and double stops. So speak of the devil, the song started right off with that. You guys on Patreon always pick them well. And I think they're down-tuned or else they're in C sharp or D flat. So let me just go back to the beginning. Hear that nice, fast, strummy stuff, which is sort of my kryptonite with a pick. Ooh. Hey. Okay, I don't have a chorus dialed in, but this is using the concept I talk about a lot where you mix thirds, fifths, and it's almost like the note that becomes the third or the fifth is that little melody that's baked in there in the background. Sort of that type of thing going on. And whatever note's under it is just kind of creating the chord progression, maybe foreshadowing the riff. What I like about this is that the bass started up high. I think it was. But it ended on that B flat, implying B flat minor. So we ended up, I think, here. And then the guitar riff comes down in its lower territory, which is the same territory as the bass stopped. So I just like that handoff to the riff, especially with that swell. It was a really impactful intro. So one more time, we'll let it move on. Maybe it'll come back. You never know. Okay. I might not have the exact intervals right, but we have this sort of up to that major third interval, then the 4-3 suspension, so root note stays the same. Then walking it back down. Again, ending on the chord, the guitar comes in. Nice intro. One more time. I'll kind of play along with it. We'll let it go. Okay, I gotta dial in that tone, or try to. The C's part when they hit the floor. The voices carry on and out the door. Everything you touch turns into gold. Like the angel you are, you laugh, creating a likeness. Yes. Beating hard, what made that chorus so powerful is the notes Joe plays. They weren't always the roots. They were pushing the chord progression to I wouldn't say resolve, but just change chords with these leading tones that just felt a bit tense, like inverting some of the chords, maybe even going up to the third or a note underneath it. Just listen to the way that chorus is pushed by the bass line. I can't tell you exactly what happened on this first listen. I'm going to go back and hear it again. But he played around with some inversions that gave it a nice rolling forward through that chord progression sort of thing. Really dig that. Let's see what I got for tone. Well, that sounds like shit. Let me go back and take this out. Something a little thicker. Cool, let's ride with that. Okay, I gotta hear that chorus one more time. We only got a 2-minute and 46-second song. All right. Yes. Just, he's almost writing the same notes as the bass intro. It's just repurposed for this chorus. So we have... And the chords on top of it, I don't know, there's just some sort of push he does. I got to hear it again. Yeah, that note. I feel like he's going up to the 5 there, and the guitar goes, and he's up here, and so making a second inversion there. Listen to the way the guitar goes lower and the bass goes higher here. That's sort of what I'm referring to when I say it's just pushing it forward. There's a forward motion as the bass line goes higher. You know, they're not moving in tandem like, na. They're kind of doing this, and he's working this melody into the chord progression, being the fifth or being the root. It's just clever. It's not a really complicated concept here. And how would you create a bass line like this? Well, you just take the chord progression, find the root notes, and maybe try some thirds, and maybe try some fifths. The result is a whole different chorus than if he just hugged the root note. Okay. I'm beating hard in the microphone. A ticking clock in an empty home still tells of these times so long ago. Even though I've come that bass is grindy. I know I've got so far to go. And any day now I'll explode. Like the angel you are, you laugh, creating a likeness in my chest. Your eyes, they penetrate your face. It's always me. That's when I got out and laughed. Yeah, I like the way it wraps up. It's just very lyrical. And I feel like, if I'm speaking a bit on the production, and Jason Livermore was in a video interview saying he watched the channel, that he's talking about the way I talk about how a bass line is tucked into the mix. Well, Jason, if you're watching, what I like about this is the guitar chords aren't quite as loud as some rock and metal mixes. There's a bit of ambiguity in terms of what the chord is. You hear it going. You hear that it's close to the bass, but I think the bass is just a touch louder to have the effect of what I'm talking about. The bass being a touch louder to dictate what the chord sounds like to your ear, and the guitar a little quieter, just kind of fills in the mix. And there's so many metal mixes or hard rock mixes, punk rock mixes, where the guitar is just real loud. It just kind of dominates. And no matter what the bass does, first inversion, second inversion, different root note entirely, it doesn't really have that effect because the bass is a bit buried. So this effect translating as well as it does here in this chorus has a lot to do with how it's mixed. So I always make it a point to say that because Production can be everything into how the actual arrangement translates, and I think it's perfectly well done here. Bass is a touch louder. You can hear the root note decisions in action. It's a sum of the parts thing, but whatever it is, damn, it works really well. I love the pushing this chorus has from the bass part. Like the angel you, that note's an inversion. Same thing, happens right at the beginning too. Like the angel you, created a likeness in my chest. Your eyes, they penetrate me. It's always me. That's when I got up and left. Okay, another very intuitive, seasoned bass player thing here. The bass is what? Writing in the higher register most of the song. Intro. Chorus. Well, he drops down in this low register all of a sudden for this guitar solo. It's like a very conscious sonic movement. Get out of the way. Get out of that range and let this guitar lead take front and center. Listen to how quickly he departs that range. That's conscious stuff you have to do as a bass player. What's coming up next? Are the vocals re-entering at a lower range, a lower register, a higher register? Or is a guitar solo coming in? Is there a keyboard part coming in? Well, you can't sit where you were if they're kind of in your space. You've already established yourself in that space. Get out of the way. Go low. Hang out down there for a minute. And you can just hear that conscious decision here. And I'm sure it's not something you sat and thought about. It's just a conscious thing you do. You feel it. You know, you read the room musically. Cool. Sounds like a chainsaw. Jumps back up. Now we're back where we were. So even in that broken down section, stay down there. It's a dynamic play too. And it would sound weird if he jumped up back where he was for this little bridge section. So now we're back in mid-range territory, pushing the chorus with this really cool, dare I call it a melody under the chorus. Because kind of what it sounds like to me, especially the way it wraps up. I love it. It's simple, catchy shit. Simple, catchy shit. So good. At the end. Oh, one more time. That's like a hair at the rhythm. I think that's what makes it hard. Dag to get, dag to get, dag to get, dag to get. It's tough to play that because when you go, now you're on the upstroke, now you're back on the downstroke. So it flips your picking, and it's one of those things, I could get it. I have to sit down and work it out. But I love the way it sounds. You don't really hear that rhythm being done on those chordal motions because you mix a lot of strums in with the upstrokes and the downstrokes. One more time, it wraps up the song. Got to hear it again. Your eyes, they penetrate, listens to all right. So here on the channel, I often talk about my favorite key signatures, and I'm very vocal about A flat minor being my favorite. Well, second place, and has been forever, is B flat minor. I know they're close together, but those songs just sound, there's something about it, something otherworldly about those two keys to me. Extra sad, extra somber, I don't know what it is. Extra melancholy. Point being, this song, because of that, and I don't know if you guys might agree, but this song has a really nice balance it strikes between almost a beautiful ballad, but a hard rock song, a hard punk rock song. Another great song that starts off with thoughtful bass, in and out, and then the bass retains its dancing with the chord structure in the chorus, making a new melody that really references the one in the beginning, that little top string one. Come hang out with us. It is the best way to support the channel, patreon.com/LoneUniversity. We do full albums like this every single month. We vote on them. It's a blast. Great community of amazing people. Tons of bass lessons, music theory lessons. Like everything I've ever done on video is pretty much on Patreon, so come hang out. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. I love you all. We'll see you in the next one.